Hello and welcome to week 3 of self-reflection. As part of this video, I am going to share the progress that I've made in the past week, what I've learned, and what I'm planning on doing for the week ahead. For those of you that have not followed this channel previously, my name is Tanya. I'm 52 years old and I live on the east coast of Scotland, and the purpose of this channel is to capture the self-development journey that I am personally on and have been on for a number of years, and also bringing together some tools, techniques, hints and tips from my coaching and therapy practice, as well as sharing some of my life stories. So Monday is all about self-reflection, and then the other aspects of education and storytelling occur on a Wednesday and on a Friday. So welcome to all the returning viewers, and a warm welcome to any new viewers that are passing by this video and want to stay along to hear the progress that's been made. So last week I wanted to revisit the Wheel of Life, and what I've actually got is a night book, which is something that was an output produced by Mindstore, which is a self-development course that I actually undertook over 22 years ago for the first time. And one of the outputs that they had was this night book, where you can actually capture snapshots of the Wheel of Life, of where you are at one point in time, and then you can actually track the progress of how you're performing against the kind of 12 aspects of the wheel. And this is what it actually looks like. So within Mindstore, these are the 12 wheels or the 12 spokes within the Wheel of Life. And within Mind Valley, they've got a slight different variation on the titles, but it still tends to be 12 spokes that you can actually focus. So within here, there's the kind of marriage, partnership, family, social, personal development and education, career, attitude, which is probably your mental state and the self-chatter that you have, health, financial, home, tangibles, which is the assets and possessions that you have, leisure, recreation, so it's your quality of life, and spiritual. And the idea is that you actually capture where you are at a point in time, and then you can reflect between periods where you're sort of reflecting. So I had looked at this way back in March this year, and I had done a snapshot, and what I wanted to do last week is, coming up to September, which is the 6-month point, I wanted to sort of see, are the areas where I was focusing, which was self-development, and it was about the educational aspects, and also my kind of career and my finances, and also my relationships, and that was the kind of areas that I had been focusing, again with some elements of health as well. So those were the key areas of focus, and having done the review, I still feel that those are the right areas. What I have probably noticed is that now that I've got into the rhythm with health in terms of my Zumba classes, which are every twice a week on a Monday and on a Saturday, now I'm probably starting to get ready to introduce a little bit more exercise within the kind of weekly routine. And I've got a treadmill, and I've also got a vibro machine, which helps you strengthen your core muscles. So the idea is that I'm going to incorporate some of those kind of tools that I've actually got and introduce something for another one more time during the week. So I'm going to have 3 days a week that I'm going to be doing some form of exercise, and then slowly over time I can start increasing that to 4 days, and if I feel that I want to go up to 5 days or more, in due course. But that is something that I'm going to introduce. In terms of my eating, that is something that I'll sort of tackle further down the line, because I've sort of come to the realization that I'm still doing a lot of the kind of inner work in terms of reflecting on my inner child and the codependency aspects, and still processing and introducing healthier boundaries within my life. And as a result, my kind of my reward mechanism has been that when I am going to uncomfortable places and dealing with uncomfortable feelings, I need to be able to reward myself. And for me, up until now, food has been a reward mechanism. So I'm not wanting to create a black or white thinking that I'm either being healthy or not being healthy. So I'm wanting to create a bit of balance so it reduces the impact on binge eating, which is one of the patterns of behavior that I did start to like from probably the age of 19, 20, I started introducing that within my life. And I know it's something that I am in the process of reducing the impact. I am trying to recover and have a healthier relationship with food. But for the next few months, I'm almost giving myself permission that if I do want to reward myself through food, if I want to maybe have some play food, which is what I refer to as the not so healthy stuff, then I'm going to give myself permission to do so without judgment, just kindness and compassion, bearing in mind that I'm not going to overdo things, because if I'm not doing the restriction, then I know that my body naturally will sort of like say enough's enough, now I want the healthier food, and then I'll revert back to that. So I'm giving myself permission on the kind of food side. So health, introduce a little bit more exercise, be a little bit more kind of aware but lenient with the kind of food intake for the next few months at least. But the kind of key focus is still the self-development, the kind of the educational aspects of me learning new tools and techniques on how to manage in a kind of speedier way the emotions and everything that has been suppressed, and now I need to sort of like tackle while I've got the capacity and the bandwidth to be able to do so. So one of the kind of areas that I've also sort of like, well, not one of the areas, but one of the things that I did do last week was to watch a live event with Marisa Peer, where she actually did an intake and then she actually did the whole kind of hypnotherapy or rapid transformational therapy, which is hypnotherapy on steroids, and to actually get the kind of breakthroughs and insights for the client. So it was an educational event where students and graduates were able to sort of like review the master in action. So there was a lot of insight, and not surprisingly, I shouldn't be surprised, the universe sort of like provided something that required some inner child work, which didn't realign, but it aligned with the fact that that is the work that I have been doing over the past few weeks. So it just sort of like almost just reaffirmed certain bits of work that I had been doing, and it brought some closure to other aspects, which was absolutely superb. And then another thing that I did last week was Tony Robbins, his wife Sage Robbins, had a summit last week on Wednesday, and it was about the Unstoppable Summit. So it was about sort of reaffirming that as women, we want to be able to do everything and be there for everyone, but sometimes we don't take the necessary self-care for ourselves. So it was a lot of the work that I have been doing for the past few months were just sort of like reaffirmed and confirmed by what I was hearing other people going through and work that they are currently in progress with. So it was good to sort of almost get that external validation that I am on the right path and that I am doing the right things in the right order, and that, yeah, I do have all the answers within me, and it's just about taking the time and doing the work and then monitoring the progress. And that this is the kind of purpose of these videos, to be able to track the progress that's being made week on week on this journey. And then it's about reaffirming that for me, every day is a learning day, or as I refer to as a school day, because for me personally, school was a happy place where I enjoyed spending time with my friends. I loved learning new concepts and learning about everything in life, and it was the putting things into practice that maybe had proven challenging at times, and now that I've got the right tools and techniques, it's actually enabling me to be able to reflect back and notice the progress that I have been made, in some instances on a subconscious level and in others on a more kind of conscious level. And the thing that sort of reaffirmed itself this week was I had some more people viewing my website and providing some amazing feedback, which has been welcomed and received, because it just reaffirms that the messaging that I was trying to get across is coming across and people are picking up on that. And also it's actually demonstrating that Google search is actually now, via the YouTube algorithm as well, starting to pick up the kind of be heard, be brave and be free terminology, and it's pushing some traffic to my website, which is absolutely superb, because that's what I want to be seeing, more traffic coming through. So eventually the right clients are going to come through that channel as well. Another kind of big kind of progress that's happened last week is that I've started working with a new client. So I'm super excited to see over the next 3 months the transformation this client is going to have, which is just going to be, it's going to push me in my kind of like my knowledge and my expertise, but at the same time it's going to reaffirm that these tools and techniques do work, and they do work super fast. And knowing that another person's life and the kind of ripple effects of that person's life is going to have on the people around them is just, it's super exciting, and just gives me that warm, happy feeling inside. So another thing that I had been doing was making some progress with the books, and the great news is that I've actually finished one of the books, and now I can actually tell you what that was. It's called Codependent No More, and it's the revised and updated version by Melody Beattie. Now, it was a New York bestseller, and basically, even though it was about, it covers a lot about alcoholism, because that is the kind of story of the author. But a lot of these, not a lot of the content, pretty much the majority of the content applied to me. My background isn't that, me personally, as much as I've done binge drinking, it's never been that my kind of home environment or my kind of social interactions were alcohol fueled or drug fueled or any kind of form of addiction. There were maybe some restrictions when it came to food and certain elements, but there was nothing in particular that resonated. But every other aspect did, in terms of controlling emotions and controlling how you express your emotions. And it's about the big kind of takeaway for me was, in order for you to be able to process and let go, you've got to getting out by going in. So you need to go inside to work out what are the triggers, what are the kind of stories that I've been sort of telling myself, the thoughts and the beliefs, and what ones are no longer serving me, and about challenging them, reframing them, and in some instances letting go. But it's about being honest and open and willing to make the kind of hard decisions in some instances, where you will put some kind of strict boundaries in place, or make decisions that are maybe not going to be popular with people, and as a result some relationships may be impacted. But as long as I'm feeling that I'm being authentic and true to myself, that is what is important here. Because it is about taking a day at a time and being present and using the kind of tools that I use on a daily basis, or multiple times, becoming aware, accepting, articulating, and then being able to challenge and reframe. And the most important thing for me personally, in order to let go, was to stop judging myself, because I've mentioned before, my kind of self-talk had been super critical. I was always judging myself, and I was always expecting more of myself. And it's about accepting the fact that I was doing the best that I could under the circumstances, and externally I was actually probably thriving, but my expectations weren't being met. So by reflecting on which of those expectations were serving me, because in some instances we can set the bar too high, or we want things to always happen in a certain way, when in actual fact, in order for us to learn the lessons, we might need to sort of like just stand back, see things from a different perspective, and as a result be able to experience the fullness of the learning experience and the joy that life is presenting to us through this opportunity. And the other thing was about, you've got to stop controlling things. And this was the big thing for me. I was trying to control situations by preempting what people were thinking, feeling, and what they needed, by trying to fix their issues or problems, when in actual fact it was unsolicited advice that I was providing in a lot of instances, because I thought I could help them, because I could see the bigger picture, when in actual fact, until they could see the bigger picture, me providing that unsolicited advice was probably more triggering and causing friction in the relationships, rather than me accepting the fact that everyone's on their own journey and we're all going to learn at the pace and when we are, and if we are ready to learn. Because for some people, they don't want to be aware, they don't want to change anything, they are happy with the way things are. Even though they might not be satisfied with everything, they are happy to be wherever they are. And this is where it's about us that may have the kind of higher standards. It's about just reflecting the fact that, are we doing it because they need that, or whether it's going to make us feel better. So lots of kind of self-boundary, self-love kind of key messages coming through this. And what I'll do on the Wednesday kind of educational aspect, I'll go into a little bit more about the letting go and the power of letting go, and how to be able to tackle that and the benefits of it, and provide you some more kind of information, hints and tips in that space. So if you're interested and want to know a wee bit more, tune in for the Wednesday vlog. If not, that's totally fine. I hope you've actually reflected a wee bit on your week. How did your week go? What did you learn? What are you going to maybe change up? And what things are you going to be a wee bit kinder and more compassionate with yourself? And if you want to let me know in the comments, please feel free to do so. And until the next one, go out and seize the day. Have the most amazing day. And always remember, there's choices in life, so choose wisely. Until the next one, bye.